Crews in Surfside, Florida, pull 3 more bodies from the ruins of a collapsed condominium building today. The confirmed death toll rose to 27, with 118 still missing. Overnight, a controlled demolition leveled the remaining wing of the tower. Today, the Miami-Dade County mayor said it cleared the way for the search to resume.
The area closest to the building was the area that we had not been able to access, and that is where we needed to go. And previously it was not accessible due to the enormous risk to the team of first responders because of the instability of the building. And as we speak, the teams are working on that part of the pile that was not accessible before the building was demolished.
The demolition was accelerated amid earlier fears that Tropical Storm Elsa could bring down the rest of the building. The storm crossed central Cuba today, on track to pass over the Florida Keys and then to the state's west coast by Wednesday. On the pandemic, Britain's Prime Minister Boris Johnson announced that England is set to drop face masks and social distancing requirements despite rising infections. A final decision will come next week. Other parts of the United Kingdom are under their own plans. Meanwhile, daily infections in the U.S. have risen nearly 20% in 2 weeks. That is according to a count in the New York Times. Hundreds of companies worldwide struggled to cope today with the biggest ransomware attack on record. A Russian-linked group demanded $70 million. It breached software supplier Kaseya on Friday and infected the firm's clients in 17 countries, including Germany.
There
certainly will be more. Kaseya had many IT service providers as clients. Some have already reported breaches, and I assume that there will be more in the course of today and in the course of this week. It is a dynamic situation of danger which is evolving here.
The hackers, known as REvil, were also involved in extorting $11 million from the U.S.-based meat processor JBS back in May. There has been no let-up in gun violence in the United States over the holiday weekend. In Chicago, at least 12 people were fatally shot, with 40 wounded. Overall, the city has had more shootings but fewer killings this year than last. 3 people were shot and killed in Dallas late Sunday, and in Cincinnati, 2 people were killed and 3 others wounded at a fireworks show last night. In Afghanistan, the government vowed to launch a counteroffensive in the north after the Taliban captured more districts over the weekend. Hundreds of Afghan troops fled into neighboring Tajikistan. In turn, Taliban fighters said they will keep up the pressure.
The only thing that will persuade me to put down my gun is if there's Islamic law here, based entirely on Islam, and the government is run according to Islamic rules.
Taliban surge comes as the U.S. and NATO are completing their pullout ahead of a September 11th deadline. Rescuers in Japan have spent a 3rd day looking for survivors of a landslide on Saturday that killed at least 4 people. It struck the city of Atami, about 60 miles southwest of Tokyo, leaving 80 people unaccounted for. Heavy rain triggered the slide, and crews have been digging through mud and debris along a steep hillside. Hundreds of troops, firefighters, and others are involved. And the Vatican reports that Pope Francis is in good condition tonight after intestinal surgery on Sunday. The 84-year-old pontiff had half of his colon removed due to a narrowing of the large intestine. He's expected to remain hospitalized in Rome for about a week. Still to come on the NewsHour, what's at the heart of the longest presidential marriage in U.S. history? Reflecting on the National Guard's service in the fight for our freedom. Augmented reality, how we can rethink what a monument represents in this moment of racial reckoning, and much more.
This is the PBS NewsHour from WETA Studios in Washington and in the West from the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism at Arizona State University.